We are the anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. HOTspots magazine unveils its special Thanksgiving edition featuring exclusive interviews, important event details, and community-focused stories. Grab your free copy for unmissable LGBTQ fun.
Fearing rollbacks under Trump, LGBTQ couples nationwide are urgently preparing to marry. These couples fear not just the new election, but what the Supreme Court may bring next.
How do you celebrate TDOR? If you are Speaker Mike Johnson, you launch a new policy banning transgender bathroom access in the Capitol. It has shocked and sparks fierce criticism. People are drawing comparisons to historic discriminatory laws like Jim Crow laws.
California reports the first U.S. case of Clade 1 Mpox in a man who traveled to Africa. Health officials emphasize vaccination, care, and a red alert to the LGBTQ community.
Blue Sky, a decentralized platform, offers LGBTQ users a creative, fun, and less toxic space. The platform has grown quickly since its 2023 launch, as Twitter is losing 1 million users a week. We wonder if Donald Trump's new bestie is listening.
Good evening, welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ daily evening television news, broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels. We are proud to announce that YouTube has recognized Queer News Tonight, certified by analytics company vidIQ, and we now have more than 10 million views on the only daily live queer news show in the world. We are proud that we have more than 1,000 new subscribers in October alone, and that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ brand in Florida. Over 500,000 of you have watched this show in the last 60 days. We thank you for watching and supporting our voice in the community. It's Thursday, November 24th, 2024. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories here we're going to tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first live daily LGBTQ evening news show, literally out of the closet and into the headlines on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first and only unedited live LGBTQ evening news show. Whatever happens, unique in LGBTQ news, you will see it and hear it.
HOTspots magazine Happening Out television network is a non-profit 501c3 media company in the same model of PBS and NPR, but designed for the LGBTQ community. Our mission is to support the 11 pillars of our LGBTQ community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ nonprofit media companies in America, HOTspots magazine and Happening Out television network.
In 2025, our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ experience, and our television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ and broader community.
Let's meet tonight's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Franchesca D'Amore is an advocate and holistic life coach. She is currently board secretary for Safe Schools South Florida. Her passion to support LGBTQ plus youth inspired her to found TransEd, which offers education solutions for transgender and non-binary young adults. Franchesca is the entertainment director for My Hollywood Pride and is an executive committee member of the Broward Regional HIV Planning Council. Franchesca, Trans Inclusive Group with Ariana Center, Transsocial, and other sponsors and community partners, is hosting the 10th annual Bishop S.F. Makalani Mahi Transgender Equality Awards at the Center for Spiritual Living in Fort Lauderdale on November 26th. Tell me what's happening.
Well, as we all know, this is Transgender Awareness Month, and we've had many events. And this event is really dear to a lot of our hearts in the community. Our peers nominate certain activists, and then they're voted on. And I actually was the recipient 2 years ago, and it really meant a lot to me. Yeah, thanks. So that's happening. So come on out. Make sure you join us and support your trans siblings.
Absolutely. Thank you. And I love, I miss SF so much. I loved what he did and how he made me feel all the time. Let's welcome Corey Billions. Corey is a proud LGBTQ community member from West Palm Beach. He has served as a pharmacy technician for 10 years. Welcome, Corey.
Hello. It's a bittersweet day because it's the last day of Scorpio season.
Oh,
I know.
It looks like you and Franchesca coordinated your wardrobe tonight.
We're cheetah sisters.
All right.
Together.
All right. Look out. Let's welcome anchor John Buckley. He is Vice President and Program Director for Unity Coalition, creator of Kioba Initiative, a free traveling social event that features inspiring speakers, topics, and a safe space for all same-gender loving people of color. John, Code Red Cocktails and Awards fundraiser reception, Red Dress Red, whew, that's a mouthful, is on Saturday, December 7th at Hunter's Nightclub. Tell me what's happening.
This is also another great event. This is celebrating those in our community who are putting together events and making a difference, just like we all do. We're going to have the entertainment of Latrice Royale, just to name a few. You have, it's going to be hosted by Faye Woods.
Awesome.
Yes. Her too.
And they're honoring a lot of great people, such as Velvet Lenore.
Yes.
They're honoring Dr. Edward Summers,
Excellent.
Carrie and Pierre Lowe. They do a Fit Safe Space event throughout the community. And it's just a great time to come together and celebrate. I was also a recipient. I was their Trailblazer Award
wonderful.
recipient in 2022. So it's great this year to come back and be a part of the host committee. You
Excellent.
can log on and get tickets right at www.rafacenterorg.org.
And is that RAFA Center?
Yes, RAPHA.
Okay,
it's
so say the website again.
So the website is the Rafa, RAPHA Center.org.
Excellent. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Now let's welcome Gregg Shapiro, an inductee into the Chicago LGBT Hall of Fame. Gregg is the author of 2 short story collections and 7 books of poetry. He's an entertainment journalist whose celebrity interviews and reviews run in a variety of print and online publications. Welcome, Gregg.
Hello, everybody. It's the Miami Book Fair weekend. There's so much fun literary stuff happening. But to really begin it, I want to talk about very quickly my husband, Rick Harlan, who co-wrote Last Call South Florida with Fred Feges. They're going to be doing an event tomorrow from 7 to 9 p.m. at Twist, which is in South Beach on Washington Avenue. So please, if you can make it to this will sort of kick off the weekend festivities. Also on the 23rd of November, at 10 a.m., the amazing lesbian writer Julie Marie Wade will be reading from her new book at the Miami Book Fair. That's that's Saturday, and then on Sunday, this is going to be incredible. At the Miami Book Fair, this first time ever Latino poetry anthology from the Library of Congress. There's going to be reading at 5 p.m. with the editor Rigoberto Gonzalez, and also South Florida's very own Richard Blanco will be there, and many other writers. This is a major event, so check out Miami Book Fair this weekend.
Funny story about Richard Blanco. Years ago in Miami-Dade County, when SAVE was working on getting our human rights ordinance, Richard and I were responsible for doing the newsletter that, of course, it would look like this, like a 5th grader did it, I mean, compared to what you can do now with graphic design tools. So that's awesome. I'm glad that Richard
Did he add a poetic touch to the newsletter?
I suppose I did.
And of course, this is tonight's lead anchor, Cindy Brown. Cindy was an early organizer of the Miami AIDS Walk and the White Party for Care Resource. She is the programs director for the Lambda Living program at Jewish Community Services, and she also served as the founding executive director of Miami Beach Pride. Welcome, Cindy.
Well, thank you, and I'm so happy to have the rest of you at the table. This is my first night as lead anchor, so
Doing great.
I have a great team with me here. So we are the reporters for Queer News Tonight, and this evening we begin with the queer headlines. The LGBTQ community in South Florida and across America is diverse. Our community across the world is vast, and here are the bullet points of the queer news for Thursday, November 21st, 2024. First this evening, let's queer up HOTspots magazine. HOTspots magazine new issue is on the stands. It's a special Thanksgiving edition. HOTspots will be celebrating 40 years soon, and it will also release a new issue Thursday. The magazine is part of HOTspots Happening Out, the largest nonprofit LGBT media group in America. This new HOTspots issue is a special Urge Miami Thanksgiving Festival edition. Urge will be taking place from November 29th through December 2nd. 3 electrifying nights of one of the world's largest LGBTQ dance and party events will feature many entertainment options, including music by world-famous DJs. One of these DJs, who is from Brazil, sat with HOTspots for an exclusive interview. The full feature is in this new issue. Raymond F. Kravis Center for the Performing Arts is presenting The Illusionists, November 29th through 31st. On this occasion, Scott Holland of HOTspots magazine sat with the mentalist Cox, aka Chris Cox, for the exclusive interview. You don't want to miss it in this new issue. And talking about the interviews, the magazine features another exclusive interview with Travis Cordell, the lead of Some Like It Hot, which is opening its Broadway season at the Adrian Arts Center for the Performing Arts in Miami on December 3rd. And on the occasion of the upcoming World AIDS Day, December 1st, HIV and LGBTQ health advocate and Queer News Tonight anchor Vaughn Biggs has written an informative feature for the magazine's focusing on Florida community. It's a must-read for everyone. And look out, Ricky Martin is coming to Florida for AHF's World AIDS Day concert. If you wish to know about the event and other details, the new issue has it covered it all, and maybe wish it wasn't so covered. Right? Those who have watched Smile and Smile 2, or You, or Euphoria, know Lucas Gage. Writer Chris Aspardi sat down with Gage for HOTspots, and once you grab the free copy of this new issue, you'll also have access to the whole interview. And while we're celebrating the community, it's impossible not to talk about entertainment and movies. Magazine's deep issue Hollywood feature by Romeo San Vicente covers everything happening in Hollywood that you should know. And of course, you can read popular features like Hot Bodies by Leo Harley, Hot Eats by Maria Espinal, and What's Hot and Out with Scott by Scott Holland. Even with what our community has faced in November, we have a lot to be thankful for this Thanksgiving. Grab your free copy of HOTspots magazine today, or you might miss out on all the fun. Wow, that is a lot going on.
It's season.
Amazing, yeah.
HOTspots magazine is great about covering all these different events, showing detail, giving light to some spaces that a lot of people aren't aware of.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're great. You should all be grateful to Scott Holland for all he does at HOTspots.
And they make an effort to make sure that everybody is represented. Just like on Queer News, all those pillars.
I gotta give a shout out too to George Coronado. because the model is wearing Be Naked underwear.
Wasn't he
I
sexy?
recognize the underwear because I have a few pairs myself, but
Oh, this
it's
one?
super comfortable and
Now,
they
what
fit
kind of
great.
underwear is that?
Those are briefs, but they make
No, what kind? What kind?
The brand.
the brand is called Be Naked.
Oh, Be
you
Naked.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a Peruvian brand, but he has the online as well as here.
Do they make women's underwear?
They don't, but they do have like some comfortable, maybe like
Yeah, maybe I could do
tidy-
some boy
boxers?
shorts.
like boxers that you could,
Tidy whities, no.
Not so much, but
Boxers work.
Boxer brief.
Right.
there's something in there for everybody.
Yeah. And how about Ricky Martin?
Oh, yes. Aging beautifully.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Sure.
daddy for you, right?
Zaddy.
A zaddy?
Yeah.
Zaddy,
Why do you say zaddy? Because he's old?
Well, you know, that's like the sexy term for the maturing guy.
Right.
You don't want to call him a daddy because then it's like
Just-
daddy,
yeah.
but zaddy, it's
Yeah.
like enticing. It's like
Zesty.
Okay.
there.
Zesty, I
learned
like
something
that.
Zesty.
Living La
Good
Vida
term for
Loca, right?
Wow. Well, if you
Right.
want information on any of those things, and I'm sure the issue is packed with a lot more great stuff. So don't forget to pick up your free issue of HOTspots magazine on stands now.
Yes. Next, let's queer up social justice. LGBTQ marriages are skyrocketing over concerns of Trump and the January 20th Supreme Court. In the aftermath of Donald Trump's 2024 presidential victory, queer couples across the U.S. are rushing to marry, fearing their rights could be at risk under his administration. Planned LGBTQ marriage dates have skyrocketed in upcoming fear of the inauguration and what changes may occur for our marriage rights from the Supreme Court. The announcement of anti-LGBTQ figures have amplified concerns, especially given his opposition to the 2015 Obergefell versus Hodges ruling and the Equality Act. Jennifer Pizer, chief legal officer at Lambda Legal, stated, "People are very worried, no question about that. These fears stem from Trump's conservative judicial appointments and his focus on anti-trans policies during his campaign, which signal potential rollbacks in queer rights. While Trump has not directly targeted same-sex marriage, his alignment with the religious right and figures like Senator Ted Cruz, who opposes Obergefell, has left advocates concerned. The Supreme Court's conservative majority is a critical factor. Justices Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito have previously expressed interest in revisiting the Obergefell decision. Ooh. There's a majority to overturn the ruling is uncertain. Trump's ability to appoint more justices during his term could solidify a threat to marriage equality. Amidst the fearful environment in the country, Chaplain Anita Miloro of Lesbians of Iowa is leading a nationwide effort called For a Time Such as This to connect queer couples with free wedding resources. She is helping over 40 couples tie the knot before the inauguration. This is just one example that emphasizes the urgency LGBTQ couples feel at the moment. Her project includes a national map of free officiants, photographers, and notary services. Queer couples are expressing they do not want to wait and see what happens. They are protecting their love now. I am so up, down, round, because his last term wasn't great, but the fact that he has convictions and the fact that he's made it clear that he is a dictator now, it does give pause for concern, because we're in a day and age where you can't not give anyone the acknowledgement of what they're saying. Oprah and Maya Angelou said, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them.
Exactly.
He has showed us time and time again.
Well, considering how well marriage has worked for straight people, including all three of Trump's marriages,
Exactly.
they might want to look at the success rate of LGBTQ marriages by contrast. Also, maybe I'm naive, but sometimes I think that if people see the benefit to the wedding industry economy, such as, money being made by venues, florists, bakeries, wedding gown and formal wear providers, officiants, and others, then they might feel differently. I mean, it would take a huge hit. That industry would take a huge hit.
I kind of disagree with that because they survived without the gay community, and
but they probably made more
conservatives, especially in the state, have never let money, even tourism money, but not in the state of Florida. No. The state of Florida turned off the LGBT websites. They have cut funding to all cultural arts programming because they don't want gay choruses to get any money. So I think that what these folks are doing is awesome. I also would encourage anyone who plans to get married to do so now. Just like if you haven't had your name change done, get it done now. Right. All of these kinds of things that you can do now that are questionable, get it taken care of now. And the fact that they're putting this free resource directory out there, I think it's fantastic.
Big shout out to Chaplain Anita Maloro. He's the one who put all of this together.
Exactly.
And that type of stuff can be tedious, exhausting. And she's helping 40 couples. Like, this is a lot.
I'm sure she's helping a lot more.
Of course, exactly.
I've me and my partner, I thought about this when the elections came about. I was like, so we do plan on getting married, and it's very questionable as to do we want to rush it or do we want to wait and fight if we have to. Either way, it's an important decision, and
you don't want to do it just because you might not have it. You have to be ready to do it. But if you're planning on it,
that's a good point. Next, let's queer up trans rights. U.S. Capitol. In 1964, Black people could not use white bathrooms. Starting TDOR 2024, it's trans people. On Trans Day of Remembrance, Speaker of the House Mike Johnson announced a policy banning transgender individuals from using bathrooms aligned with their gender identity in the U.S. Capitol and House office buildings. The new rule reserves all single-sex facilities, restrooms, locker rooms, and changing rooms for individuals based on their gender assigned at birth. Johnson defended the policy, stating that unisex bathrooms are available and each congressional office has private facilities. Earlier this week, in advance of TDOR, there were hints that a Capitol bathroom policy would be implemented against the new congresswoman from Delaware. Instead, he made the policy universal for all trans people. He said, quote, "Women deserve women's only spaces," end quote. The policy applies only to areas under House jurisdiction, leaving Senate-controlled spaces unaffected as Democrats are in control until January. The announcement follows heightened tensions among Republicans who appear emboldened after the recent general election. The election of Sarah McBride, the first out transgender member of Congress, has sparked targeted measures like this one. Representative Nancy Mace openly admitted her proposed resolutions aimed to bar transgender women from women's restrooms were in direct response to McBride's election. Critics have denounced the policy, with Wisconsin Representative Mark Pocan calling it, quote, "a cruel and unnecessary rule that risks rampant abuse, harassment, and discrimination," end quote. Many are also drawing a parallel between this new bathroom announcement in 2024 and when Black people could not use Capitol white bathrooms due to Jim Crow laws. U.S. Capitol bathrooms were finally settled in law by the 1964 Civil Rights Act. Could millions of LGBTQ community members be facing their own Jim Crow in 2024? I say yes.
Yes, unfortunately.
As an open trans woman, this is horrifying for myself and the trans community. I transitioned 12 years ago, and I have never had an issue going into a woman's room or a spa or anything of that nature. And it's now I'm afraid.
Right.
I'm scared. You know, you have places like in Texas where they have bounties, you know, $10,000 bounty if you see someone who you suspect is not aligning with their gender going into a ladies' room.
Right.
So what's going to happen? I'm going to have to use the men's room, and trans men are going to need to use the women's room?
Let's hear what both, you know, these straight men and the women feel about trans men going into the women's room. And you can't have it both ways, you know, and the reality is that most people don't care. They're not paying attention to who's, especially in the women's room. You're in line. Everybody goes into their own stall. Not like a men's room where there are urinals, but even so.
And there's still stalls.
There's private,
So it's like
exactly.
if you want to go in the stall, you go in the stall. If you want to use
these
the urinal,
arguments
you do.
are just
But-
hurtful.
Yeah.
Period.
Well, and also this is to really push the anti-trans agenda. You know, you have Mike Johnson, you have Marjorie Taylor Greene, and they're
Nancy
screaming
Mace,
things, you know, like a man is a man and a woman is a woman, and a man can't be a woman. And I think this is just setting up the stage for more anti-trans rhetoric. Actually, December 4th, the Supreme Court is actually going to be listening to an oral presentation of Scrimetti, U.S. versus Scrimetti, and Jonathan Scrimetti is the Attorney General for Tennessee. And this all revolves around lower courts reversing gender-affirming care for minors. So now the Supreme Court is going to be listening to this in December. So I think a lot of this also is a preface to that, to just get things, you know, the violence out there, the anti-everything against trans. And it's a really scary time to be trans right now. But we've lived through so much. You know, the whole LGBTQ community. We just all have to really band together and defend each other, you know, equally and move forward. And that's the attitude we have to take every day.
Absolutely.
You know? Acknowledge our feelings and then move forward.
I think it was Kennedy that said, "No one is truly free until everybody is free."
Aren't there bigger issues at hand, though? Aren't we?
Of course there are.
With
Yes.
China,
Of course.
isn't there a illiteracy issue in America?
There has to be an
homelessness
enemy.
issue.
There has to be an
They're
enemy.
looking for
And
scapegoats.
right now,
It's
the
necessary.
trans community.
And the timing of this on TDOR just shows how hateful little Mike Johnson truly is. But it's not surprising because he aligns himself with evangelicals. So there's nothing surprising about it. But I'll tell you what there is about it. It's deplorable, truly.
Exactly.
It is. And Sarah McBride,
She was right.
you know, her rebuttal was pretty calm. And there are a lot of trans advocates that wish she would have stood up more. But she made the point. I was voted by the people of Delaware
That's right.
to deal with XYZ issues.
People have
So I understand where she's coming from as well. So, it's...
She has a big job ahead of her.
She sure does.
Yeah, I mean, I respect her statement saying, you know, I came to Congress to serve my constituents who elected me. I didn't come here to talk about me being trans.
Right.
So,
Okay, sure.
yeah.
Next, let's queer up health. Is there a looming gay health crisis as California confirms first case of new deadly Mpox strain? California has reported the first U.S. case of a more severe strain of Mpox, Clade 1, in a man who recently traveled to Africa. Public health officials are working to identify anyone who may have come in contact with him. The agency announced on November 16th. The California Department of Public Health, CDPH, has identified through laboratory testing the first known case of Clade 1 Mpox in the United States. The individual is receiving care in San Mateo County near San Francisco. Clade 1 Mpox has a higher mortality rate than the Clade 2B strain, which caused the global outbreak in 2022 and disproportionately affected gay men. While the World Health Organization declared that Clade 1 outbreak a public health emergency in August, officials claim that the access to quality medical care can reduce the severity of cases. According to CDPH, Clade 1 has caused more severe illness than Clade 2. However, recent infections may not be clinically severe as in previous outbreaks. WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus has expressed concern over the strain's rapid spread in Central and Eastern Africa, saying, "A coordinated international response is essential to stop these outbreaks and save lives." The CDC advises avoiding contact with individuals showing Mpox symptoms or contaminated materials. Vaccination remains a key preventative measure, with 2 doses recommended for those eligible. While alarming, experts assure the public that robust healthcare resources can manage the outbreak effectively. I think it's very, very alarming and concerning. If you have the access, I would definitely recommend, number one, getting vaccinated.
Right.
We do have many community health resources that we can look to.
Yes.
So, ask a friend, but definitely be on top of your health. No matter what sort of activities you choose to get into. I don't yuck anybody's yum, but just make sure you're safe and you're vaccinated and you're protecting yourselves and others.
I don't know, it didn't mention in the story whether the vaccination that people previously got, because I was vaccinated because I had dinner with a friend who had it. And, but is this new strain, does it require a new vaccination? So that's a question that we need to find an answer to, because if it doesn't, then everyone who's already been vaccinated needs to get, although I don't know how long the vaccine was good for anyway, but there's a lot of germs out there. It's just so crazy.
I've never been scared of anything before in my life, and this is like one of the few things that is just, it crawls my skin, because the pictures that I've seen of what happens when you do contract it, it's like, oh my God, I can't have that happen to my skin. So now I'm gonna, if there's a pimple out of place, there's back acne, if there's a mosquito bite, sir, is that monkeypox, or do we need to not hang out tonight?
Yeah,
I'm gonna be very vigilant.
Those 3 words, higher mortality rate.
I know.
It's a little, does add a little scare to it.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure. Next, let's queer up gay culture. 1 million a week are leaving Twitter for Blue Sky, especially the gays. From flirty posts to chaotic memes, the LGBTQ community always finds a way to make online spaces our own. Enter Blue Sky, the queer-loved alternative to Twitter that's bringing back the fun, flair, and freedom we've been missing. Blue Sky started as a Twitter experiment in 2019 under Jack Dorsey, but when Elon Musk's acquisition led to questionable freedom of speech policies, paid verifications, and a mass exodus, Dorsey severed ties and launched Blue Sky as a standalone platform in February 2023. Initially invite-only, it opened to the public a year later, quickly growing to 20 million users. Blue Sky's decentralized structure, built on the AT protocol, offers a nostalgic throwback to Twitter's less toxic 2010 era. According to CEO Jay Graber, who has been at the helm since 2024, its user control settings allow you to enable or filter not safe for work content, ensuring your timeline, affectionately dubbed the Skyline, reflects your vibe. For now, Blue Sky lacks a significant conservative presence, making it a welcoming space for queer users. Discussions remain vibrant but less combative, and many users appreciate its focus on creativity and connection over chaos. So whether you're there for discourse or thirst traps, it's time to explore this fabulous digital skyline along with the other 1 million people leaving Twitter for Blue Sky every week. We just say, skies are blue and every color of the rainbow at Blue Sky. Anything I can personally do in my own humble way to diminish twisted Twitter is my pleasure. I have been a member of Blue Sky since August of 2023, and you can find me at greggshaw.bsky.social.
Do you have any thirst traps on there?
No. Just
excuse my ignorance, but what's a thirst trap?
Oh,
picture,
that's a
sexy
provocative picture,
Sexy
either
picture.
half clothed or showing.
Do you really want to see me half clothed?
No,
Not a good
no,
idea.
of
course.
Not a good idea.
I'll be signing up next week, though.
I signed up the other day.
I want to see what it's about.
Yeah.
But building a whole...
Starting over.
Starting over again and finding those connections and making those... Although I didn't really use Twitter hardly at all. I did delete my account. I'm in my 60s. I use Facebook.
Yeah, but if you're on, you can use Facebook. Just add that to say you can find me on Blue Sky and add your...
okay.
Yeah.
Add it to the link tree.
Nothing wrong with like a little
Link
cross-pollination.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Next,
Excellent.
let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Visit Lauderdale invites you to experience the music and magic of Sunset Tea Dance. Fort Lauderdale's LGBTQ community has a new Sunday ritual, the Sunset Tea Dance, hosted by the Kimpton Shorebreak Fort Lauderdale Beach. Visit Lauderdale invites you to this bi-weekly celebration to dance the evening away while soaking in some of the best views in town. Running from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m., the event offers drink specials, discounted parking, and electrifying music with special performances. Best of all, it's completely free. Yep, you heard right, making it the perfect way to wrap up the weekend. The next Sunset Tea Dance takes place on December 1st, so mark your calendars for a dazzling evening under the Florida sky. Whether you're a local or just visiting, this event promises unforgettable vibes and community spirit. Don't miss the chance to dance until dark and celebrate in style. Further details are available on visitlauderdale.com. Next, we are proud of our special partnership with Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church here in Fort Lauderdale. Supporting that partnership, we are broadcasting from our permanent set here at Sunshine Cathedral at the Happening Out television studios. We broadcast Sunshine Cathedral's Sunday International Service at 10:30 a.m.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News, let's queer up gay culture. Did Chris Evans go on OnlyFans? Here's why so many thought so. Queer Marvel fans were sent into a frenzy over rumors that Chris Evans had joined OnlyFans. A viral post on Twitter claimed the actor was on the platform featuring a Photoshop profile and a picture from a 2023 GQ shoot. The post raked up over 10.9 million views and nearly 100,000 likes. Jeez. But the excitement was short-lived as a community note on Twitter debunked the claim, labeling it engagement bait. The account behind the fake post, at DropPopNet, is notorious for sharing fake content. While fans may have been disappointed, this isn't the first time Evans has been humorously linked to the platform. In 2020, Avengers director Joe Russo joked about Evans managing a fake account. Alas, for now, Captain America and the new Red One star remains offline. Tear. Because he has an ass on him. Captain America, I salute you.
I don't understand how a profile is notorious for posting fake stuff is still allowed to post anything. That's what's wrong with Twitter.
Yeah, engagement bait.
Exactly.
What do they think of next? I mean, come on.
There's a loophole in obviously everything.
Yeah, well.
There it is.
Yep.
Okay, LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up entertainment. Broadway Divas, Death Becomes Her, has musical tribute for the gays. The new Broadway adaptation of the movie Death Becomes Her embraces its LGBTQ fan base with the dazzling track For the Gays. Megan Hilty, taking on Meryl Streep's iconic role of Madeline Ashton, calls it a massive responsibility. It is, adding, I hope audiences feel my reverence for Meryl's performance, but also appreciate my fresh take. Co-stars Jennifer Simmert, who plays Helen, and Michelle Williams, who plays Viola, are equally inspired by their queer audience. The cast honors their status as gay icons, aiming to uplift and empower. Simmert hopes, quote, our show can be a safe harbor for the LGBTQ plus community, end quote. Death Becomes Her is now in previews on Broadway at Lunt-Fontanne Theater. This is just one of my favorite iconic movies. I can't wait to see it, on the stage.
I'm sure it'll make its way down here, either to
I think
Broward
it will.
Center or Arsh, or maybe even both.
No, The Witches of Eastwick was just at the Broward Center, and I have some friends who performed in it, and it was just amazing. So I can't wait to see the stage interpretation of this.
Yeah.
When I saw the press screening of Wicked over the weekend, they ran an ad for Death Becomes Her, which indicates that they are very clued in to who the audience is.
Yeah.
Right.
Can I just say I just saw the original movie like a week ago? Don't revoke my gay card.
What, Death Becomes Her?
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
It was wonderful. The ladies are beautiful. So I know the stage performance is going to be phenomenal.
Oh, they're going to kill it.
Check it out.
Okay, LGBTQ 1 Minute News, let's queer up entertainment. Cynthia Erivo reacts to queer people thinking Defying Gravity is about them. Have you seen Wicked yet? There are big spoilers we could reveal, but we won't. But the Land of Oz has long been a refuge for LGBTQ people, and out bisexual Cynthia Erivo's portrayal of Elphaba in Wicked strengthens that connection. Erivo brings new depth to this green-skinned witch who is othered for being different. Director John M. Chu's big screen adaptation highlights Elphaba's journey of defiance and empowerment as she challenges those in power, exposing dangerous truths. She sings Defying Gravity while soaring into her full strength, a moment that is resonating deeply with queer audiences. When asked what it means to her that the LGBT community is finding solace in Defying Gravity, Erivo said, quote, I didn't know that was happening. That's really powerful, end quote. I think it's really powerful too. And just like The Wizard of Oz, over the rainbow, this is something that we relate to because we all, at some point, knew that we were not like all the rest of our classmates.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, that's definitely the message of the movie, and I'm glad Cynthia understood the power of that song. And as I said, I did see Wicked, and you can read my review in Out South Florida online tomorrow at outsfl.com.
Her voice
Can't wait.
is truly captivating.
Yeah.
So
He's the reason to see it.
sure,
Yes.
whatever she's in, she definitely delivers. So I can't wait to see it.
wait. Yeah.
LGBTQ 1 minute news. Let's queer up gay culture. Did I do that? Steve Urkel from Family Matters explains how his bulge caused a costume change. Fans of Family Matters might recall Steve Urkel as the lovable, nerdy neighbor. But Jaleel White, who played Urkel from ages 12 to 21, recently revealed a wardrobe challenge from the show's final season as he got older and larger. In a Sirius XM interview, White, now 47, shared that his growth spurt led producers to switch Urkel's signature high-waisted jeans for khakis. In his memoir, Growing Up Urkel, White says he was told by the producers, "We want to keep this character going, but we just don't want certain characteristics anymore. Let's get rid of the suspenders, lower his pants too. Oh, and it's getting a bit uncomfortable watching him in tight jeans. There's a bulge." Growing Up Urkel is now available wherever books are sold.
Career is incredible. I did see, though, this news story that popped up.
What's up?
You know, I prefer talking to you about how you had to hide your bulge during the filming.
Listen, we are not going to talk about page 6. Who are these people over here?
Page 6, got you. What's going on?
Yo, man, I swear, every time I'm having a good media day, I just get sideswiped by somebody like this, right? Somebody grabbed a pandemic photo of me on stepping off my Peloton. I didn't even know I posted that. Was that on my stories or something? And puts it next to an article talking about my bulge. Okay, calm down. We are driving in a 35-mile-an-hour zone right now. Slow it down. Okay, listen. In the final season of Family Matters, it was decided I was not a part of any of these note sessions. It was decided that I would no longer wear jeans because they just looked too tight. And if you'll notice on the final season of Family Matters, Steve only wears khakis. I said that once, and now all of a sudden I got to get these articles now that just have to put bulge in the goddamn headline. It's just not right. It's not right. It has to stop. These page 6 people have to be stopped.
Well, apparently, there was something that caught the producer's eye. So, you know, kudos to them. And hey, there's nothing wrong with the eyes catching something every now and then.
It's such a funny story, though, because of Urkel.
I know.
You know, it's Urkel, and to see Urkel as a man with a bulge, that kind of is creepy. So I get why they would do that.
He played his alter ego, Steve
Right.
Urkel. He was kind of sexy going into his older age. And I was like, okay. Now, I didn't pay attention to the bulge. I wish I did. But congratulations.
Good for Jaleel. Dress left or right? LGBTQ 1 minute news. Let's queer up entertainment. Heartstopper's Joe Locke removed Love Simon poster from Agatha All Along bedroom set. Fans of Agatha All Along have finally discovered which LGBTQ movie poster Joe Locke had replaced in Wiccan's very gay bedroom, including the Trans Lives Matter flag. Locke, who plays Billy Maximoff, Marvel's gay superhero, spoke to The Wrap about it. He explained that he swapped out certain items, including a poster for a queer movie, as he felt the gay community had moved on from. Fans have identified the film as 2018 gay rom-com Love, Simon. Fans found it out from the supervising art director Drew Monahan's set images. Fans applaud Locke for ensuring the set reflects current queer narratives, emphasizing progress and inclusivity in representation. Well done, Mr. Locke. Because that movie is probably what, like 10 or more years old, and it's not speaking to the same people. Yeah.
And especially in that period of time, there's been so many more movies. I mean, you know, 20 or 30 years ago, there wasn't a lot.
There were bigger gaps
of stuff out there, but now there is. So
kudos to them.
That is today's news for the LGBTQ community on the world's first and only daily LGBTQ evening news show.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support. If our community is to grow, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of HOTspots magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor, Cindy Brown, and on behalf of these LGBTQ reporters, the best anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Franchesca D'Amore, Corey Billions, John Buckley, and Gregg Shapiro, we will see you daily at 8 p.m. To our LGBTQ world, we wish you a good night.
Good night.